to be second to a woman. No man wants to be second to a woman who has kids. Is this a thing? Like, do y'all feel like if you date a single mom that you are second to her kids? And what is it that causes you to feel this way? Is it the way she treats you? Like, what are the things that make a man feel like if they're dating a single mother, they are second to her kids? What if she's giving you all her time? What if she's splitting custody 50-50 and she's giving you 50% majority of her time, and even when her kids are around, she's catering to you just like she would any man, even if you were the father of her kids? I just want to understand why a man would say this to me, saying no man wants a woman that has kids because he's second to her kids. Is this a thing?
For me, and I'm gonna tell you guys again, this is my experience. I've had horrible experiences dating women with children, and that's why it was on my list of non-negotiables for me. And I know that may sound weird because I have a kid, but let me explain first. So I dated a young lady, and she's a nurse, right? Because I think somebody said date a nurse, but she was a nurse. I didn't know she had a kid at first. And we're hanging out, right? Shit is great. We're doing fun dates, we're communicating, hanging out, all the things, probably for a couple of months. And then we were on our way back from, I can't even remember where we were going back from, but I know a snowstorm was coming. And she's like, hey, I gotta go pick up my son. She had to pick him up from maybe an hour away. And she was asking me if I felt comfortable going with her. My immediate thought was like, no, I really don't want to go because I feel like it's gonna be some bullshit with this, because I heard you talking to his father before you asked me that question, and it sounded mad weird. So I'm apprehensive, right? And this may be my patience issue, or this may be my lower tolerance for dealing with certain issues. But I went, right? Guys, I'm flexible. Compromise. So we go. Man, it's a whole mess. Buddy's getting out the car. He's all tough. I'm like, what? How's this dude on tip? Like, I thought you guys broke up a long time ago. Supposedly he has a girlfriend. All these things. So we get back, and I find out the history, right? Abusive relationship. Buddy's, in my opinion, a poor father, right? Because he doesn't really show up when he needs to. All the things. But she is, for some reason, trying to force him to be a dad. I struggle with that part.
See, this is where he lost me.
Poor.
This is where he lost me. This is the reason why dudes like him will always get taken advantage of. Because even though he said that he has issues dating, horrible experiences, and that's the reason why I keep it on them. You don't know Duke. You don't know that guy. You don't know nothing about him. You don't know how he's parenting. You don't know anything. All you know is her side. That's it. All you know is her side. So instead of you just leaving yourself out of the situation, right? Go your own way. Do whatever it is you got to do. You went anyway. And automatically you went to shaming the guy, calling him a poor father. You know nothing about this guy. Immediately went to putting the cape on. I was just doing compilations. I'm about to just do compilations of men explaining the reason why they don't want to date single mothers. And I'm listening to clips because I've seen certain clips. And then when I'm listening to this, I'm like, nah. You don't get to do that, Duke. You don't get to do that. You don't get to put on your cape because things ain't going right. First of all, she shouldn't have asked you to come. She shouldn't have asked you to come. You went. You don't know what she did to him. You don't know what she said to him. You said it sound mad weird. No, you know what was weird? You showing up. You showing up. That was weird. You was the weird. You was the weird. And I'm going to tell you why she wanted you to come along. She wanted you to come along to make that guy jealous. Because she could have just went and came back. She wanted you to come along to make that guy jealous. And now all of a sudden he came out looking tough. You know what he mean by he came out looking tough? He came out probably upset. So if he's upset, that's him looking tough. What's looking tough? He came outside. What's looking tough? Ice grilling you? What's looking tough? What does that even mean? Starting to sound like them, right? What do you mean he was looking tough? I really don't like when dudes do this. I swear I really don't like when dudes do this because it's none of your business. It's really not. It's really not. And for you to have a child, right? And apparently it didn't work out with you. If the shoe was on the other foot, you would want the next man to give you some grace, to not judge you and your parenting based off the woman that you had a child with, and she's just bitter about you and not working out. Now she's telling her business to another guy. You will want that grace. These guys, man. These guys. Let's finish. Let's see what else he has to say. This is crazy.
With single moms, because I think a lot of single moms, in my experience, right, are trying to force a relationship, and they use the justification that it's for the kid. But in my head, I'm like, it can't be for the kid, because if you love your kid so much, then you probably don't want to put them in a bad situation or expose them to a real shitty example. Alexa off about what a man should be or what a father should be, or insert whatever that example is. So fast forward, right? Buddy's calling her bees and hoes, and she's a bad mom, and all these things from emotional abuse. And now I'm stuck, right? Because issue number one, I am very protective of people close to me. And in my head, I'm like, yo, either me and Buddy need to fight, or we need to get some kind of law enforcement involved so that you have some boundaries legally now that he can't probably call or text you because your son is older. You guys can communicate through him. You can communicate through the court, right? Set up the email system. Something outside of me finding out that this dude is texting you some wild and crazy shit because I feel like I need to intervene. Second issue is that you have to now have that conversation with that woman and realize that I'm an outsider, right? I'm new to the situation, and this has been working for her for all these years, and she's okay with it. Now I'm kind of judging you. Why is this the standard, and why would you let anybody disrespect you like this for the sake of, I don't care what it is, right? That disrespect shit has to stop. The other issue we have outside of crazy ass baby daddy and her not having initial boundaries with him in the first place is now the standard for the kid. And this is another area where I struggle at, right? I have probably higher than average standards for Peyton, and her mother shares the same sentiment, so we can co-parent well in terms of grades, extracurricular activities, what she's exposed to, her habits.
Man, we not listening to Duke anymore. My bad, black man. My bad. My bad. This rambling. Let me tell you something, right? Dudes like this, unfortunately, they end up getting in certain situations. Like he said in the beginning, the reason why he doesn't like to date, single mothers is because of situations like this. But he's going to date them regardless because he immediately puts on a cape, right? He immediately puts on a cape. When you're putting on a cape, right, you're basically playing a fence so you can keep that open, that option open of dating them, because you don't want to put a video out, showing how it's the guy that even if the guy's a pookie, even if the guy's out there, being disrespectful, that's the guy she chose. That's the guy she chose. So if you're not going to put the onus on her and you're still just talking about him, it's because you're trying to leave that door open for you dating them, and you don't want to get any pushback where they don't want to look at you in that light anymore because of things you said. This is a guy with no spine right here. This is a spineless guy who's trying his best to convey a message, but it goes left in the message because he's too busy putting the problem on the guy, and you're the guy who's looking in from the outside. He said it himself. He's looking in from the outside. And unfortunately, it be guys like this that get sent to the upper room by not just engaging at all. Not just engaging. What do you mean you and this guy about to fight because he's calling her out her name and all that? Well, so what? That's their problem. If you show up and the guy's calling her out of her name and all that, guess what? She's called him out of his name before, and this is something normal for them. You just sit back. You don't get upset and think, oh, you need to scrap. What do you mean? No. This is what she's used to. This is what she's used to. This is her world. You're just visiting. So you're going to attempt to fight somebody. You don't know nothing about him, right? You don't know if he's carrying. You don't know nothing. But you ready to crash out because you with her and you don't know the situation. You don't know what happened. You don't even know what they were talking about over the phone. You said mad weird. Let me tell you why men don't want to be stepdads. For one, when you decide to date a woman with kids, right? They're looking for stepdads. They're not looking for boyfriends, husbands. They're looking for somebody to take care of their kids. So they're looking for you as a support system for the kids. The kids need a father. They already have fathers, but they're just not satisfied with that father and what he's doing. They need more. They need more help. So they're out there looking for guys, and these guys have to take care of somebody else's children. No man in his right mind want to take care of another man's children. That's number one. Number two is when you get with these women, right, and they have children. Remember, I did a video about Boyce Watkins, Simp Watkins. Remember, I did a video about him. What happened with him? He got with a woman who wasn't checking for him when she was younger. Now she's older, has 3 children, and he's in the house with these kids, and they calling him what? Duke. His name is Duke. They don't call him Boyce. They don't call him Mr. Watkins. They call him Duke. You get no respect. You can't discipline them. The person that's not living there, their father, has more say-so than you, and you living there paying bills. You can't discipline them. You can't tell them what to do. You can't tell them anything. Your name is Duke in the house.
You know what I'm saying? And plus, I don't even know how to discipline somebody else's kid, because I don't want to step on nobody's toes. I don't want to cross no boundaries, or like if I yelled at their child or something, or if I talk to them a certain way, like their mom might get mad and be like, don't talk to, and then it's going to create conflict. And I don't know. And I don't have kids. So it's not like I know what it's like. I don't know what it's like because I don't have kids. So it's.
See, he's talking, this is a young guy. He said he's in his 20s, right? You got to stop drinking, man. Look like you're you in your 20s. You put the cigarettes down, put the alcohol down, man. Looking a little 30-ish over here. Anyway, what I'm saying is he's saying that when he gets with these women, he don't know how to discipline the children because if they're being rude and disrespectful and he tries to discipline them, he don't know what type of boundaries. He don't know if the mother's going to get upset. This happens often with guys that date women with children. You know why the women with children, their children are disrespectful? Because there's no father there. The father is the one that disciplines. The mother babies them. Even when they're bad, the father disciplines them. If you grew up with a father, right? If you grew up with a father, you knew that when dad was home, oh, all the shenanigans stop. When dad was home, there wasn't no telling us how many times or, how many times. There wasn't no, you got to tell us 3-4 times to clean the room. It was one time and that's it. Go clean your room, go to bed, eat your food, then go to bed, do your homework. It's just one time. There was no playing around. It got serious when dad was around because dad was the one that wasn't playing around. You're going to do what I tell you to do or else there's consequences. So those children that had fathers in the house grew up with respect. They weren't disrespectful because they understood that if dad find out about it, oh, it's going to be a big problem. It's going to be a big problem. If you was in trouble in school, you didn't want your dad to come. You did not want your dad to come to school to address whatever it was. You wanted your mother to come to school. I'm talking about people with 2-parent household. You grew up, you didn't want dad to find out. And if your mother did find out you was terrible, you trying to bargain with your mother. Hey, listen, you don't need to tell dad. You don't need to tell him. I wash the dishes for the next month straight. Just don't tell him what happened. That's the power of dad. That's the power of dad. Unfortunately, a lot of dudes didn't grow up with their fathers in their house, so they don't understand what I'm talking about. And it's not their father's fault. The mother just didn't want to be around anymore. The mother wanted to play the streets. But but for those who grew up with a dad in their household, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
So it's kind of like, I get kind of like confused, like, man, like, damn, like, should I go for it or should I just not? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. And then on top of that, I kind of think about it like I want my own kids. Not saying that we can't have kids, but it's just like a different dynamic. I don't know. This is just what goes through my head. And I feel like, I really do feel like that's why a lot of single moms have a hard time getting into relationships, because a lot of men probably feel the same way, where they just don't want to date women with kids. Like, they just don't want to deal with it. They already have their own kids, or they just don't want to deal with nobody else's kids because they don't even know the problem with the baby daddy or the situation. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I kind of get hung up at, and I'm trying to figure it out because, like, just a couple years ago, 3 years ago, I was like 23, 24. So, like, at that time, I'm younger, so, like, not everybody got kids, but now, late 20s, everybody got kids. So I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of tough. But I feel like you should give everybody a chance. But damn, when you got kids, that shit, man, I don't know. It's kind of a tough situation. If you a single mom, you doing
Whoa, wait. If you're a
your
single,
thing though, I respect y'all 100%. But y'all can let me know, the single moms out there, is it hard for y'all to date, to find men because y'all got kids? Let me know in the comments section below, because I'm just curious to see, like, do y'all have that problem, or is it just like a small pool of ladies that just have a hard time finding men in general?
listen here, man. Listen here, Duke. Let me explain something about people like Duke right here, right? He's a young guy, right? He's a young guy. What he needs to understand is there are a lot of women out there without children. There are a lot of women out there without children. It's the pool of women that he's chasing. He just doesn't understand that. It's the pool of women. You got to stop dating in that pool. It's time to exercise your options. It's time to exercise your options. If all you dating is women that have children, okay, now it's time to look at what group, what demographic, and then it's time to switch up. All right, this is enough. This is what you're supposed to do. But he's young, and most likely he ain't in certain spaces that tell him these things. See, to the young guys that's listening, right? You want to create your own legacy. That sounds insane to help another man's legacy. That's insane. You are getting into a relationship with a woman that has children, and the first thing that should come to your mind is, I'm playing myself. If just wake up I'm playing myself. That's what you should be I'm literally playing myself. There's no benefits. Name just one upside to it. Just one. You're not going to find it. There is no upside to it. It's all liability. It's all liability. And you know what's crazy is that when men are saying they don't want to deal with them anymore, or deal with women that have children, they get criticized because they want to create their own family. You have your own family. You made your family. You already made your family with another guy. You made your family. You should have stayed there. You should have stayed there. Instead, you left him, broke up your family. Now you want to come out in the streets and find a new family? No. Doesn't work like that. And for the guys that have children, let me break this down to you, because I said this before. Stop listening to these content creators these male content creators that are telling you that it's okay for you to date women with children if you have children. Let me break it down to you again, the reason why it's still a bad deal, even if you have children. See, normally, right, and this is majority, when you look at a man that has children, right, because of how the court systems is made up, right, even if you fought, you're not going to end up with your children. They just not doing that. She has to be strung out. Even then, they not giving you full custody. Even then. But she got to be locked up doing life somewhere before they grant you full custody of the children. Or let the children live with you. So, because of the court system, majority of the time, the children live with the mother, right? We agree to that. We can all agree to that, right? So since the children normally lives with the mother, that means the children are not with you. So if the children are not with you, right? If you get with a woman that has children, right? That means that if y'all build a life together, she's going to move into a house with you and her children. It's not going to be you and your children and her it's her children and you. Do you understand? It's her children and you. Even though you have children, the children don't live with you. So now you living in a household and you're taking care of her children, but she's not taking care of yours because your child is with the child's mother. It's still a bad deal. Still a bad deal. So stop listening to these guys, man. These guys just be saying, hey, if you got children and she got children, and then Then y'all mesh together. No, you don't. You still don't. You still don't. Because you're still going to be taking care of her children, not the other way around. No, it's a bad deal. It's a bad deal. Anyway, all around, if you have children, if you have children, don't date them with children. This don't make sense. It's all about liability. It's no upside. There's no upside to this. It's just you coming out of pocket. And we in a day and age where dudes are getting taken to court, right? Paying child support, not because they thought the child was theirs. No, not because, the child was born and she thought, no. Dudes, they taking dudes to court for being in a child's life for a number of years, a certain amount of years, right? And you're not even married to her. But if you've been in this child life for a certain amount of years, they're trying to make it where they can take you to court for that and say, now you need support as if you were married to the woman, right? And now you on the hook to the government because you decided to get in a relationship and take care of these children. Y'all better pay attention to what's going on, man. It's very nasty out here. It's very nasty out here. Anyway, salute. Peace.